Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get this going. The room is filling up. My name's Rob Hanreader, and I am Daniel Williamson's Go Live partner. Just a few things before we get going. We want to get through all of this amazing content in 60 minutes. So we're going to try and cram it all into 60 minutes because we value your guys' time. It's Friday night. We want you spending time with your family or just doing something really fun. So we want to get the value to you guys as fast as humanly possible. And we're going to keep it tight, super tight. So with that being said, I was honestly honored when Daniel asked me to be part of this. And we've been accountability partners for about 7 months, I think. And make a long story short, we met at a mastermind. It was last winter. And then he showed up here in Sylvan Lake. I saw him post that he was on the beach, and I sent him a message, and I blasted down there and kind of said, "Hey man, how's it going?" Gave him a hug. And a week later, it was weird. We had each other on each other's hearts, and he just reached out to me and said, "Man, I'm looking for an accountability partner." And I was blown away. I was seriously blown away because this guy that's at that point, man, you were probably already at 240, 250. You had a lot going. And I'm like, honestly, guys, I was like, why me? Like, this guy is like, he's like internet famous. So at any rate, since then, man, we've become tight, like brothers. Our families are tight. We've traveled together, and he's just a massive inspiration in this community. Everybody knows Daniel Williamson as being, we call him Happy Dan, but he has a massive heart, and he just wants to give it away to everyone. And before I turn the table over to Daniel to get going, I want to talk about Austin. So Mr. Nowak, I met maybe 2 weeks before the Punta Cana event. Daniel arranged a Zoom call. We got on there, and I just remember, Austin, we talked. That was like 2 hours, and it seemed like 5 minutes. We just automatically connected. It was absolutely mind-blowing. And I'm sure you guys can relate to when you meet someone and you just and that's the beauty of the internet. Like, the dude lives in Florida. We're like thousands of miles apart, and it was like I've known him my whole life. So I feel truly, truly blessed to these two guys to be a part of their life. And Austin and I got to hang out for 7 days in Punta Cana, and it was like a bromance. I just remember getting there, and Sunday night he rolled in a little later. We were kind of texting all day, "Where are you at? Where are you at?" But I had never really met him face to face. And we were in the restaurant there. What was the name of the main restaurant that we always frequented? The Gabby, I think it was called. Is that what it was?
Yeah, the Gabby.
Yeah, and I just remember we locked eyes across the room, and it was like slow-mo. We were running towards each other, massive bear hug. It was amazing. This guy has a huge heart, and I am so blessed to call both these guys my brothers, and feel truly, I got goosebumps or shivers up my face when I said that. So I'm just truly blessed to be with these guys, and I want to pass it over to Daniel. He's the Go Live Master 365 champion. As far as I know, he's the only one, or the first one, to complete a 365, definitely within our community. So the floor is yours, my brother. Go ahead, drop some massive gold nuggets for us.
Okay, thank you again, Austin. Thank you again, every single one of you, for being here. So I'm one of those guys who used to think all the time that you shouldn't toot your own horn or anything like that. But honestly, I do have 365 Go Lives under my belt, and I have only one person really to thank for that, for the number at least. That's Austin, because I was in my second 90-day Go Live challenge, and Austin had already started a 365. And he suggested, why not do a 365? Well, I'm a really strong believer in that when you start something, you should finish it so that you physically know that you have finished it. So I went to the end of my 180 and decided that, you know what, I was going to bump it to 365. And honestly, in the entire GAZ Team Phoenix community, I have the most amount of go lives, and it's only because of one thing, and that's consistency and knowing where I wanted to go and where and how I was going to get there. And branding myself via go lives was one of the easiest ways to do it. And when I first started, I would have told you that forget it. There's not a chance that I'm going to ever go 365 go lives and get myself to that place. But I was suggested in my community. Matthew Jang said everybody should start a 90-day go live challenge to get a little bit more comfortable on camera. And I am in full agreement with that. If you've got a bicycle to ride to the market to go pick up your groceries every day, it's going to take you a certain amount of time to get there. And at one time, the horse and buggy used to be the fastest and most efficient way to get around. But I can tell you right now that if you jump on a jet and you fly around the world, it's going to get you there a hell of a lot faster. So that's where I came from when I wanted to start my go lives. Now, over the last 365 and a little bit more, I've learned a little bit of stuff about doing go lives, what to do, what not to do. You really want to show up with the top level advantages that you can get. And I mean, you can Google a lot of what we're going to talk about here tonight, but I'm speaking from experience. Austin here has 238, I believe, go lives. And, combined, all of us have over 2 years experience doing this. And why not have this be the next step, taking a class and making sure that everybody can have all of the information that we had or that we didn't have when we started our go lives. And, why let everybody else make those mistakes when I can help them take their go lives to the next level? And just like it says behind me here, level up your game. So I want to jump right into what I have to talk about. I've got 4 topics. Each one of us have about 4 topics, and we'll kind of touch on each one of those topics as we go along. And then at the end, I want you guys to have your notepads and pens ready. Write down any questions you have, and at the end we will take Q&A, and we will have possibly enough time to pull somebody or maybe a few people out onto the panel so that you can ask your questions and we can answer them face to face or something like that. So number 1 for me, and this is something that I know each one of you that has been in this group has acknowledged or realized is one of the hardest things to do in go lives, and that's what to talk about. So what to talk about, so many times you think to yourself, like, how am I going to come up with 365 things to say or 90 things to say that is going to stay congruent with my message, going to stay congruent with the direction I want to take my life in and the direction I want to take my business in. And I mean, this can go for anything. You don't even need to have a business to do go lives. You could be just taking your life in this direction. So the number 1 key I would say for what to talk about is to create your CC, and that's your content compass. What you want to talk about is coming up with 5 things that really resonate with you, that gets you pumped, that gets you jazzed to talk about, something that really comes from the heart, and as well, make sure that those 5 things are something that you really stand behind, that you really feel are really important to you, so that you could take those 5 words, brainstorm, and come up with 10 other words per one or 100 other words per individual word. So the content compass, your CC, is the 5 words that best describe what you stand for. Maybe 5 different topics, conversations that get your energy flowing. So that's number 1, your content compass, what to talk about. And I can tell you from experience, that's one of the hardest things to come up with. So number 2 for me is start talking immediately. People don't want to wait around. Honestly, I mean, I used to do it all the time. I would wait, and I would wait for those viewers to come in, and it would be a couple more minutes, and then a little bit of silence and everything like that. But you really want to start immediately, because 90% of your viewers are going to come in replay form. They're not going to be on your go lives. And if you don't start right away, they're going to drop off right away. You're going to start to create a following, and then they're just going to fall right off. So with that, you want to be you times 2. You want to step up your game. I got a haircut for this go live. I got a haircut for this masterclass, and I had to step it up. I have to follow exactly what I'm going to teach here in this class so that you guys will know that this is exactly what you need to do to get yourself to that next level. So remember that people's time is important, and people will not hang around at all. So it's nothing against you. People just don't have enough time in the day to watch 20 minutes of Go Lives or 3 hours of Go Lives and 10 minutes of you silence in the beginning. They can't wait around because life is chock full of opportunities and different things that people have to do. They got to get their groceries. They got to go get their kids from daycare. They got to, go get their tires changed in the winter or whatever it may be that they have to do in their day. And if they really want to be involved in your life and your Go Lives, you have to start talking right away, and you have to be you times 2. So number 3 for me, sorry, I've got my bullet points here so I can stay on topic and not go too far off topic and ramble a little bit. So this is one that I make sure that I do every single time. It is the most important to me because I want every single person that views my Go Lives to know how important it is for me that they are there, supporting me in my mission, supporting me in my life, and supporting me along my journey. And that is, you have to thank them every time. I mean, whether it be right at the beginning, I would suggest at the end though, because you want people to stay around until the end as well, because people like to be told thank you. People like to hear every single time that you appreciate them showing up, whether they're there on the replay or they're on the live. And it is super important for you to take every chance you get to be grateful, because gratitude is the best attitude. Your vibe definitely does attract your tribe. And I've learned this from experience, that if you don't thank the people that are there, why do they want to be there? They don't feel appreciated. And you don't feel appreciated because you're not telling them thank you. So you have to earn your viewers. Remember that. You have to earn them. And a simple thing is saying thank you at the end, showing a little bit of gratitude. It goes miles, hundreds of miles to every single one of them. And they realize how important they are to your growth and to your journey. So we'll go into number 4 for me. Do it again and again and again and again and again. This is something that has kept me going the entire 365-day Go Live challenge that I have accomplished. And there were days when I did not want to do them. I can tell you straight up, I couldn't think of a thing to say. I didn't know what to do. I was in a place where I didn't have the time to do it or whatever. But you have to make sure that if you're going to commit to something, you're going to stay true to it. You have to be consistent, and you have to be on that same level all the time. You have to be doing it over and over again. People don't want to watch you fucking 2 weeks. Sorry, I'm trying not to swear. People don't want to watch you for 2 weeks and then a week you're gone. People want to stay consistent with you, and they want you to stay consistent because people honestly are waiting for you to fall off. They're waiting for you to not be consistent. They want to see you fail. And a lot of the times I know that there's a lot of great viewers out there and a lot of great people, but when it comes right down to it, if you don't do it over and over and over and over again, it just shows them that you were in it half-ass. Sorry for the language again, but you have to stay consistent, and consistency is the one thing that I've stayed true to the entire time. Yes, there was a few days in between that I took off specifically because I didn't want to just come live for the sake of coming live, and I really needed some reflection time. You do 365 Go Lives, and there's going to be a few times when you have to look back and think how you've come along your journey and how you've progressed in your life. So I can tell you straight from experience as well that, this has been a huge growing experience for me. I've made a lot of mistakes along the road. I've made a lot of poor choices in what I should talk about or whatever. I really didn't have a content compass in the beginning. I really winged most of my Go Lives. I never had bullet points to read off of, and I never really stuck to a specific time period. And I know sometimes when you're creating extreme value, you can definitely go over your allotted time. I like about 10 to 15 minutes now. I used to do hour-long Go Lives, half-an-hour Go Lives, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but you have to stay consistent in doing what you're doing. And if you do an hour-long Go Live every single day, and people get used to doing an hour-long Go Live, and there will be dedicated fans out there, dedicated followers that will follow an hour-long Go Live. But if you drop off to a half an hour and then 10 minutes and then 5 minutes and then 2 minutes and then a half an hour and then an hour, people don't like that. They want to know that this is the time that Daniel comes on, this is the time that Austin comes on, and this is the time that Rob comes on, or each and every one of you comes on. And they want to be there for you, but they can't be there for you if you're not consistent and if you don't do it over and over and over again. So those are my 4 things, but I really want to express that each and every one of those things are going to take your Go Lives to the next level. And I mean, if you're consistent with each and every one of those ideas, there is no reason whatsoever that you will have a problem doing Go Lives. And I know that fear and being afraid or being skepticism or your own worst critic can step in the way a lot of the times. But if you have a good game plan and you have it laid out right in front of you, you have no easy out. You have no easy way to take and just, whatever. People don't need to hear my Go Lives. I can tell you straight up that people do need to hear your Go Lives. And you might think that you don't know anything, but even 1% of what you know, some people don't know anything. So if you're providing value in any way, shape, or form, people need to hear that, and people want to hear that. People want to learn, and people want to grow. So if you take every single one of these steps that I myself have, that Austin has, that Rob has to heart, and actually follow these each and every day, I can guarantee you that you will build yourself a following that will follow you to the end of the earth and back. So with that being said, huge gratitude to every single one of you for being here. It means the world to me. All of the people here that watch this live and every single one of you who gets to watch the replay, it means the world to me. And I hope you know that every single chance I get to thank you for that, I will be here to be the guy that thanks, because gratitude is the best attitude.
Man, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, gratitude is the best attitude. So guys, before we get Austin going, I've put a poll question together and I'm going to launch it right now. How many Go Lives have you completed to date? And the panelists can do it as well. Obviously, Daniel, Austin, they're going to kill that last one. I think I'm at 100 plus, so, it doesn't let me vote. Darn it. Ugh. It's all right. So I'm going to leave that running for a few minutes. Hopefully it doesn't take over the picture, and just go ahead and vote. And I just thought it'd be interesting so we could all kind of see where we're at, if you know what I mean. And then by committing and saying how many you've done to date, we can maybe check back, because we have a wicked chat going. What did we have earlier today, Daniel? 82 people. I think there was 22 more people that requested to hop on between this morning and now. So we should be almost at 100 or over 100 people in that Go Live masterclass chat. So cool. Mr. Austin Nowak, take it away, my friend.
What's up, everyone? First of all, massive thank you to all you guys for taking time out of your busy Friday night to come join us. Also to Daniel for masterminding this whole thing, bringing it up, and bringing Rob and I in. And of course, to Rob for bringing us out, giving us an awesome introduction, and just for being the awesome person that he is. So getting into this here, I want to let you guys know right off the bat, this is something that I struggled with, especially starting off. You have value. Remember that. You have value to bring. Doesn't matter if you've done 0 Go Lives, 150 Go Lives. I know most of us are in GAZ and Enagic, so whether you've made 6 figures in your business, doesn't matter what or where you are, you have value to bring. And that's the most important thing to remember, is you have value. You have to have that confidence and know that, I have something to share here, and people are going to get value from this. Everyone may not. A lot of people may disagree with it, but as long as one person gets some value from your Go Live, that's really all that matters. Don't think about, I have a tendency of looking up at the viewers and you're like, oh man, a couple people, or you see people hop on and then you say something and they hop off, and you start to kind of dwell on that. Don't so much look at that thing. Just think of, like, you're talking to one person, like a good friend. You're talking to them face to face, and value can come in so many different ways. I've done Go Lives where I've got on there and straight up cried. I've had goofier go lives where I'm just being my true goof ass self. Sorry, I swore there too, but that's the truth. And that's something else with the go lives. I wouldn't recommend, obviously, swearing too much, but sometimes that can be valuable, and that's who you are. So value can come in many different shapes, from whether it's a sad, traumatic experience that you're dealing with, whether you're excited about something, a hardship, whether it's you getting on there and switching things up a little bit and sharing some good music with people, just having a little jam session. It comes in so many different ways. And it's just, you have it to bring. Value is there, and you just have to have that mindset, have that self-worth, and know that you have value to bring. Secondly, go lives are freaking powerful. I remember the first time I saw a go live, I'm like, what is this? I'm like, that looks ridiculous. And then all of a sudden I'm doing first a 90-day challenge, and then 6 days into that I said, screw it, I'm upping it to a 365 challenge. And I will take ownership and say that I haven't stuck consistent. Like Daniel said, consistency. That's one big area that I've lacked in. And I'll take ownership in that. And I want you guys to learn from that as well. Learn from Daniel on the power of staying consistent. I should be a lot farther than 238 right now. That's for sure. And I'll take ownership in that. And it beat me up for a long time. I used to beat myself up super hard on that, until someone kind of just tapped me here and said, "You still done over 200 go lives. So, give yourself a break." But with that being said, go lives are so powerful. You can reach so many people, and the person you're going to affect the most is yourself. Looking back on my first go live, the reason I did them was because I was so nervous about getting on camera. I had huge self-esteem issues with getting on camera, or even just taking pictures. Oh, I look silly. I sound stupid. I don't have value to bring. All of these things. So you're gonna get the most value out of these go lives. And with that, moving on to our third topic is talk about like a topic, like Daniel said earlier. Talk about something you're emotionally attached to. Whatever topic I'm usually talking about is something that I'm directly working on myself, either that day, this week, like religiously. It's something that I have just strong emotions about. So when I come on my go live, I'm not just, hey, I've done that, and it's weak. And you look back and you watch your go live and you're like, man, I don't even want to watch that. So, it's it's crazy. And it's just, man, go lives, looking back on it, it's just, I can't even picture where I would be without the go lives, to be honest. Daniel, I'm super honored to have got him to go to 365. And you're going to look back on your first one. I watched my first one not too long ago, and I was like, I was laughing at myself pretty hard. But that's going to be the great thing. You're going to be able to look back, and you're going to look on those go lives, and you're going to be like, wow, just like one of those memories that pop up on your feed. And you look back and you're like, whoa, that was me? Or wow, how much I've grown from that, 6 years ago or 2 years ago or a year ago. And they're awesome. Go lives are the best. And a little more tactical here is call to action. Get people to engage. A lot of you see, especially, Landon and Stave, drop a 1, drop a 2, get that engagement, get them to comment, get them to like, because the more people that like and comment and engage with your post, more people are going to see it. Facebook's going to show it to more people. And you want to have a little interaction. You want it to be something that, someone can answer a question, and you can even do a little Q&A, turn it into, a little longer, and maybe some more value pops up. And let's see here. I love these comments. I always get distracted by the comments too. So that's one thing I'd watch too. I kind of look back on the comments at the end, and I always give gratitude. Daniel brought it up. Always say thank you for the people that take the time out of their busy nights and days to take the time to watch you, because it's super important. I love giving people a shout out, even if they just hop on and they're not even there. Got to spread the gratitude. You spread the gratitude, it's going to return to you. You're going to get people that are going to reach out to you that you may have never even talked before, maybe an old high school friend. They're going to reach out and say, man, I've been watching your videos for 2 months, or I watch them every day, and they may not have ever liked, comments, or anything. And it's going to feel so, so, so good when you get that message and them just spreading that gratitude back to you. So last but certainly not least, actually, I guess I did bring this one up again, but I'm going to bring it up one last time because it's so important. Do not focus on the viewers. Think of the one person. That's the one person. Just like I said, talk to that same person like you're talking to a close friend, and just bring that. Because I know I've done go lives where there's nobody on. It's super hard. Or you see people dropping off. Don't let that discourage you. Like Daniel said as well, 90% of the people come from the replay. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm going to pass it on to Rob because he's got a bunch of value bombs to drop on you guys as well. So, Rob, are you ready?
Yes. I was going to say something else, which leads me to the importance of not swearing on your go lives. Because let me explain something. I've rocked out some epic go lives that had amazing reach, and tried to boost them. And there's one little F-bomb in there, and Facebook's algorithm says, So you know what? I'm not a big cusser. I really am not. But even in my yoga classes, sometimes I strategically place an F-bomb. And when there's 50 plus women in the room and you do it as a pattern interrupt, I'm telling you, it is epic. They feel like they just there is a time and a place is what I'm getting at. But when you're really speaking from your heart, it's so easy to get passionate and just let it rip. So keep that in mind as you start doing more and you start creating more of a following. And, we're constantly trying to do value content now. So I always like to boost my go lives for $1 a day or something, just to keep some likes coming in, keep a following, keep a fan base going. So that's not one of my 4 points, by the way, just being clear. The poll is in. I'm going to end it now. And as you guys can see, we have some pretty, a newbie section here, 1 to 10 is the most, but that's awesome. And you can see there's a few seasons that have done, between 11 and 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 50. And then you have the epic crew here, which would be Daniel, Austin, and Maddie. I could see by the chat that Maddie's the third one there. I think I'm well over 100 too, but this is pretty cool. It's just kind of like a gauge to see kind of where you're at and where you want to be going. So let me get that out of the way. And all right, so these guys drop massive gold, and honestly, I do my go lives a little different, and I just want to explain why I've decided to do them. I learned early on that if I forced myself to do a go live and my heart wasn't in it, I firmly believe that the energy that you're putting out on that camera, if it's not BU times 2 and it's heavy, and I'm not saying you can't be vulnerable and stuff on camera. I'm just saying if you're forcing a topic, I would rather just not. I would rather, my theory has been 2 to 3 weeks. And guys, I've been on this massive roller coaster of personal growth and breaking down limiting beliefs, and just, that shit's heavy. Whoops. Sorry. That stuff's heavy when you're doing that. So sometimes it's hard to grasp. And that's a whole nother level of vulnerability when you're working through some old heavy stuff. And I like to keep my stuff positive and from a growth perspective. So I haven't traditionally gone live like a traditional challenge 30, 60, 360. Instead, I've been going live, 1 to 3 times a week for pretty much the last year. And then there's been some really, the emotional valley of despair where I might have went a week or 2 and not done a go live or 3. But that's the reason why I do that. I just have a different way. I base my go lives on my personal growth. And as I'm ripping the layers of the onion off my heart, and that's when I get the content. I take information in, I read it, I listen to it, and then I apply it to my life, and then I put it out on a go live. Because I believe that is the absolute best way to create content. When you can take a cheat sheet, I like to call them cheat sheets or Cole's Notes, when you read a book like Happy Pocket, and you can apply it to your own life and pull some nuggets out of your life and throw them back out. So that's number one. Number two, honestly, how many times have you guys drop a yes in the box if you can relate to, what the heck am I going to talk about? And you sit there and you sit there, and you know, that is a huge struggle. But I want to share something with you guys. When you're doing the work on yourselves and you're peeling the layers off and you're working on your crap and you're getting it out there, here's a secret. Be in the now and you'll know how. It's a yoga term that we used when we would get in front of a room of people and teach them. And honestly, when you can set this over here and just be in the now and speak from your heart and be very, very open and honest, there is such massive power in that, guys. So be in the now and you'll know how. Always come from a place, what did I put here? Always speak from a place of service. Everything that we're doing on these go lives, it's much like when I walk into a yoga studio, I have heavy stuff going on at home with whatever. As I step through that door, I set my crap outside because I am entering that space to be in a place of service for those people. Those people are coming here to do the work, just like you guys. Your attention is valuable, and there's thousands of people bidding for your time online. So it's absolutely important to come from a space of being of service, always. Personal growth is by far the most important thing to doing go lives. If I'm not, and I have to relate it back to yoga, because yoga ties life together. If I'm not doing the work in yoga, I have no place standing in front of people leading them in yoga. This is no different. If I'm not doing the work on myself, doing go lives, telling you, you know, you should do this or you should do that, I take the tools, apply them to my own life, and then speak from my experiences. It makes all the difference when, and with doing that, you're tying into a place of vulnerability. And when we're vulnerable, guys, you know, us as males, we're always told, you know, how many males here have heard, when you cried as a child, quit your crying, I'll give you something to cry about. You know, we're supposed to be tough, rough around the edges. I come from the oil patch. It's such a crock. Honestly, vulnerability, I've learned over the last 5 years, is actually my greatest strength. It's almost any male that can tap into their heart and speak from it. It's like your superpower, guys. And it's absolutely imperative that as you do the work, you'll get more and more access to that space of authenticity, of love. And when you do that, you become magnetic and you start to draw in people. Yes, the last one. I don't know if any of you guys have been following my go lives, but since I got home from Punta Cana, I've like 10x'd my go lives. And I just want to share my quick morning routine with you guys. First and foremost, this here does not sit beside the bed. If it does, it's on airplane mode or not connected to Wi-Fi. And I want to explain this quick, and it's really important. Our brains go into what's called theta state. That is the state between sleep and being awake. And generally, we enter theta twice a day. Twice a day. When we're waking up in the morning, it's 15 minutes from when we open our eyes and sit up. And it's the last 15 minutes before we close our eyes and go to sleep. And the problem is, if I'm surfing this and I'm catching that there was an earthquake in Shanghai and that 1,000 people died and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and I go to sleep, that's what my subconscious is thinking about all night long. And I wake up, you'll probably have some crappy dreams, and you wake up and your mind wakes up in that state of chaos and mess. So, and then the second thing, when you wake up in the morning, if you pick it up and start surfing, your mind will go exactly back to the same thoughts you had right when you went to bed. Trust me, guys, that stillness is so imperative to our growth. It's so often we are living such a busy culture that we're not comfortable being with ourselves. I teach yoga and I teach meditation all the time, and people are like, I just can't keep my mind still. I just can't keep my mind still. It's not called yoga, meditation perfect. It's called a meditation practice. It's taken me a year and a bit to be able to meditate. I had a 80-minute meditation last week, and I kind of zoned right out, and I lost that time, and it felt amazing. And the last few go lives over the last 2 weeks that I've got up and had this amazing energy pulsating through me, those go lives were literally 5 minutes out of a meditation. When you connect with stillness and set the architect aside and go the hypnotist aside and go right to the architect, which is your heart, it's right 99.9% of the time. Call it intuition, call it chi, call it whatever you believe in. But those are the 5 things. I had to take the spiritual side because that's truly how I resonate. I speak from here. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. And I hope you guys got some value from that. Yeah.
So if you guys got some value from that, drop a yes in the comments, because you know what? Rob does come from a very spiritual side of doing his go lives. And, you know, it's a healthy mix of what he's learned from me, what he's learned from Austin, what he's learned from other people in the community. And, you know, you have to be you. You have to be 110% you. Nobody else, well, there is thousands of people similar to you, but you have to be you so that when you're coming live, just like we're sitting here with you guys, that it comes off real. It doesn't come off like, this isn't me, you know, I'm not that guy that's portraying this greatness or whatever. And when Rob and Austin, they come live right from their heart. They come, like you said, right on the sleeve of his cup. So if you guys got extreme value of any of today's Go Live, please thank these 2 guys, because they've been a huge influence in my life. And, you know, I honestly don't know where I would be in my Go Live journey or even in my life journey without these 2 individuals. I got an awesome chance to spend some time with Austin in Orlando and in Vegas. I was privileged to be able both of those 2 events. And I've gotten to really grow alongside with Rob as well. And like Rob said, when I first met him, it was just like there was this connection. I had just spent the whole day in the mountains with one of my best friends, the best man at my wedding. And then I was like, you know what? I need to go from the mountains right to the beach. And I hit up the beach in Sylvan Lake. And, you know, the second Rob seen that I was I went live, and he seen that I was there, and he was drawn to the beach. He needed to be there. And, you know, we got a moment to chat. We got a good picture in. And, you know, I went home, and it was like literally for the next week, all I could think about was, you know, just like Jang had told me, everybody needs to be doing these 90-day Go Live challenge to get comfortable on camera. Well, I had mastermind groups, and I had successful mastermind groups where every single person in my mastermind group at the time that I won my trip to Orlando had won every single contest that the community we're in had held. So having a mastermind group was really important to me, but having an accountability partner, somebody I could grow with, somebody that I could take the next couple steps with and grow, really was important. And when me and Rob met, it was the same feeling I got when I met Austin. It was that, if you want to call it a bromance, that's the best word I could probably use for that. And each one of these gentlemen has been there for me at times when they didn't even realize. When Austin was vulnerable on his Go Lives, he was there for me. And he didn't even realize that because he was getting vulnerable, it was allowing me to be vulnerable. So each and every time that you go live, realize that you have a message to portray. You have all the right building blocks to be successful in your own way. And being vulnerable and being the person that you truly are inside, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. And I have to take this quote right from one of my favorite mentors, and I'm kind of sad to see him part ways, but I'm really grateful that he is, because he's growing into his own self. Brian Hodgson. And really, it was Jang who suggested the 90-day Go Live challenge. But I can tell you, when I sat down and thought I need to buy a selfie stick and I need to walk down the street, the first word that came out of my mouth was, I don't want to look dumb walking down the street with a selfie stick. I don't want people to look at me differently. And you know what? If I had never done that, I would not be here right now, the person that I am today. And when Brian came live, like 2 days later, his biggest words were, don't give a beep what anybody else thinks about what you're doing, because they're not the ones going to carry you through your life. And if Go Lives are the one thing that are going to change your family's life or your life in a positive direction, no matter what, you should not care what other people think, because honestly, it's none of your god business.
What other people think of you is none of your business.
Yeah, what other people think of you is none of your business.
Exactly.
You should only concern yourself with what you think and how you're going to get yourself to the end of the road. And honestly, people are too busy worrying about what they got to deal with. They've got their childcare. They've got to go pick up tires. They got to go get the groceries and all of those things that fill people's lives every single day. Or the guy who just cut him off on the road. Literally, if you manifest a Go Live into your life, there's only going to be growth.
Hey, Daniel, I saw a note here. Did you want me to go cover the mask thing quick?
Yes. So there is a thing called a mask, and this is going to step up your Go Lives in itself alone with branding. So if you guys haven't noticed, I'm sure many of you have, I have my little Williamson marketing logo here on my Go Lives. The way you do that is very simple, and Rob's going to go over it. He'll share his screen and quickly go over it for you guys.
So guys, you come to basically, let me close out some of this stuff. Okay, so on your main screen, when you log into Facebook, if you scroll down here, you'll see create a frame. That's it. You know, it's kind of disguised there because everyone's like, well, what's a frame? Basically, it's a mask. And it's so simple. Once you get in here, basically you come to, oh, these guys have went and changed this a little, but that's okay. We should be able to go open Frame Studio. That's right. And then basically you can upload your whatever. I built Daniel's logo on Photoshop. And you just got to play with it. You got to get the right size, and then once you get it in there, let's see if I might have yours in here. No, I don't remember what I stored it under. No, it's irrelevant. Basically, you load it up in here, and then it will show up in here, and you can drag and drop and stretch and everything else, and then it will show you basically how it looks on there. So it's kind of cool, but it is really cool. The only thing that I would love to share with you that's really, really, really important, be careful about, don't use a dark background. You want to have a gray background. You need to think about what it's going to look like if you put it on like a beach picture or something else. You want it just to be enough of a darker background so it kind of pops out off the page at you. If that makes sense. Let me see, actually, maybe it'll come up, maybe not, I don't know. So, but at any rate, I'd love to show you it in here, but it's not coming up, but you get the idea. If any of you have any questions about how that's done, drop me a link, or Daniel, drop us a message. He sat right here beside me and we built his one day. It only took what, 20, 25 minutes, Daniel? And then where you will find it on your phone, when you go your Go Live, you put your title and everything in of your Go Live. And before you hit go, there's the little star where you can put the silly face masks on you. Your frame will show up in there, but it'll probably take about 24 hours to get approved by Facebook. And then once it's approved, you just scroll along the bottom of your phone and you'll find your mask. Once you see your mask there, hit Go Live and it'll be there.
So just to clarify for people, when you go live, right at the bottom of your screen when you're holding your phone, there's a little wand. And if
Yeah.
you click on that wand, it'll either like put fancy sunglasses on you or like a silly face or whatever. Well, that's what a mask is. So it will show up in that box being your mask. So it will really step up your game a little bit extra. Another topic I wanted Austin to talk about, because he had this problem when he first started doing go lives, and it's with music. So a lot of people want to do things like jump in their car and drive and go live, which I would not suggest, because I care about you guys as much as I care about my wife and my daughter, and I would not like you to hurt yourself or anybody else. So people do that to distract themselves because it's scary to do a go live. So also playing music in the background, it's a little bit of a distraction, makes things a little bit easier. And I would say that using music is probably one of the best things you can do. But Austin had a couple problems in the beginning because you have to either say it, you don't own the copyright to any of the music that you're playing, or find copyright for your music. So if you want to touch on that.
Daniel, before you take off on this, Austin, if anyone has any questions, I'm just looking at the Q&A. There's no questions in there. So while Austin's covering this, you guys drop some questions in, and we'd love to answer them before we just drop off. We still have about 10 minutes to stay within the hour. We can run past that another 5 or 6 or 8 minutes if you guys want. Go ahead, Austin.
Alrighty, so the music. So yeah, I lost a couple golden go lives to the fact of, oops, sorry, Belugies. My puppy here ran over his foot. Anyways, I'd start playing some music, and I'd get in, and my broadcast would either be completely interrupted, or I would get to the end of my go live, and Facebook would be telling me that if I post this go live, that I could be, copyright infringement and all that stuff. So a friend reached out to me, and he actually saw it on another go live. You have to tell Facebook that you do not own the rights to this song or the music that you're about to play. Something along those lines, and then you can play whatever song that you want to. I remember I sang, I don't know if you guys know Cheech and Chong, the Mexican-American song. I sang that for, one of my different go lives. I was, with my go lives, I try not to be, I don't want to be just a motivator, because as most of us know, motivation, it just doesn't last in the long run. I don't want to be the guy that comes on there every day and just rah, rah, rah. So I said, I'm going to switch it up. And I sang this song, and like 3/4 into it, it just cut off. And it was like, no, you're not allowed to do that, basically. And anyways, so with that, music can be a fun thing to do. You can use it as a way to kind of start off to maybe, give a little bit of time for people to hop in, something to keep people's attention. You can even have just a little jam session go live where you're just sharing music that you like, especially if it has a good message to it. I know for me, music is a huge influence in my life. So if someone, shares a good song with me, I'm all about it. So I try to spice that up and bring it in every once in a while and just keep things fresh. But yeah. Go ahead.
You just jogged my memory on something.
Go ahead. Take it away.
Music can totally raise your vibration. I'm not for anyone, but you know what? I can pump some music out in my car, which leads me to something that is so critical. How many times have you guys been like, I should do go live, I should do go live? And then you get a distraction of 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and you lose that. If you don't utilize that motivation when you have a message that's on you that you need to get out, and if you get distracted even for a minute or go, I'll do that later, it's gone. You trust me, man, you cannot get that back. Or if you get it back, it won't be nearly as powerful as it was when you were inspired to do it. Inspiration isn't really something that we can call on and pull out of a, like a whatever you want to call those, a shiv, what is it called where you keep your arrows? You can't just pull that stuff out of thin air. Motivation and having the vibration to go live and really kill it. Inspiration, that's the word. Quiver. Geez, now all the words are coming to me. You cannot pull inspiration out of your quiver like nonstop. So when the vibration or the universe sends a message to your heart that you need to get out, don't waste any time. Just do it. Even if it's a 5-minute go live, do it. Sunny's asked a question, and I want all three of you or all three of us to talk on it. Do your go lives have to be at the same time of the day, or does it matter? Austin, you go first.
Yes, I would say yes and no. I've realized if I do a morning go live, completely different viewers than at night. I haven't been consistent with the time, but I have had requests where people have reached out to me, hey, what time do you go live? I don't want to miss it. So I would say yes. Time can be important, but at the same time, you don't always have to just go off a structure. Like Rob said, when you're in the moment, you're feeling it, do not waste it, because it happens to me all the time. All the time. You get one distracted.
He's just got something he wants to go live about.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't jumped up on me yet. He does that on every go live. But anyways, yeah, if you're in the moment, do the go live. You read or listen to the 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. Go live. Do it, because like you said, it'll be gone quicker than you know. So Daniel, what about you, man? What do you want to say about that?
So I would have to agree. If you're going to have a structured go live and like you want to have a following that follows your go lives, I would suggest picking a time, and you can, no better word than this, you can split test this idea and find out what time works best for you, because your audience is going to come and follow you at a certain time every day. And most people have jobs. So there's a lot of times that I've done go lives in the middle of the day, and guess what? Crickets. There's nobody around, because every single person all the people that I usually have following me are at work. So what I want to touch on what they said as well with spontaneity in your go lives. That doesn't mean if you've got a structured go live, say you do it every day at 7 o'clock, that you can't do spontaneous go lives as well. So people, like I said, are 90% of them are your viewers are replay viewers. So if people want to see you bad enough and you keep dropping value, they will go back and watch your go live, and that will motivate them to go onto your structured go live and then follow you there as well. So time is definitely an important thing. What time of the day it is, it doesn't really matter, because it's going to be different for every single person. Like I said, you could be in the oil patch, you could be in the normal 9 to 5, and 7 o'clock could be your time. Maybe 8 in the morning is your time. You might get the early viewers that are having their coffee, making their toast before they go to work, and they want to jump on with you quickly. That plays along with too how long your go lives are. I would suggest if you're going to do a morning go live, to have a lot of a shorter go live, because people really don't have the time in the morning to watch your go lives. If you're going to have an evening go live, then you could stretch it out for a little bit. And like right now, when I say, if you've got value from this, or if you want to hear us go a little bit longer than the 6 o'clock, drop a 1 in the comments, because if you feel that you're getting value and you want some more questions answered or whatever, we feel free to, I've set this time aside for you guys, and I want to let you guys have the opportunity to ask as many questions as you want. So, that's something that you can use in your go lives as well. Use that call to action so that you know what your viewers want, and you can let your viewers be co-creators in your destiny and allow them to really be a part of it. So yes, I would have to say that setting a direct time or a specific time of the day is very important.
These guys would definitely have a better handle on that. The one thing I can tell you, and it's hard for me to know, but I know since I started digging into a different level within me over the last couple of weeks, my go lives have been triple the views, and I've also been doing them like between 7 and 8 in the morning, which I think that's when people are either having their first cup of coffee and scrolling through Facebook, and bam, they get a live notification. But I am the most inconsistent go live person in the world. I'm just like, so I'm glad that these guys spoke to that. Marta asked a question, and I love this question, and I'm glad she brought it up. Is it okay to do my go lives mostly from my fan page rather than personal? And if I want, share it on personal. So I can't speak to this because for probably my first 40 go lives, I only went from my business page. And I'll be honest with you guys, it's because I was nervous for my personal page, my personal friends, to see what I was doing. I had this wall up that, oh, I'm worried that people that used to know me when I worked in the oil patch would think badly of me, through lots of work and just vulnerability and peeling the layers off. I give a rat's you know what, whether or not I speak from my heart on my personal page. So what I did notice, I went from my business page for 4 to 6 months, maybe 4 months, and then I got 0, like 20 views. There was no reach whatsoever. Then I worked up the courage to start doing it from my personal page, started to get hundreds and hundreds of views. And I was like, all right, screw it. This is important to me. I have a message I want people to hear. So generally, and I would say test it, but I always go live from my personal page. And then the only thing I'll make you aware of, if your personal page and your business pages are set up in Business Manager, you cannot share from your personal page to your business page. You need to copy the link. So you hit the share button, copy the link, and then post it through Pages if you're doing it from your cell phone. Does that make sense, Daniel?
Yeah, it totally does. So I would have to say that I really didn't care what anybody thought right off the hop, whether my friends cared or whatever. If they weren't going to support me in what I was doing, then they know where the door is, and hopefully the door doesn't hit them on the way out. So that was my personal, I took what Brian said to heart, real deep. So, but I would have to say that if you're using a fan page, that it is very important that the fingerprint comes from your fan page first. So I'm going to be doing this myself, is progressing. I've done both from my fan page, and like Rob said, you get crickets from your fan page. Your business page does not produce the reach that you want. But in actuality, if you think about what I said earlier, all it takes is that one person to change their life. So, I mean, it really is up to you whether or not you are looking for just viewers and growing your personal page, growing your personal brand. You could do one from each page and then have one separate that you always just talk about this topics or whatever for that page, and maybe more free and uplifting stuff from your personal page. But I would have to say that you need to do both so that you can find out what works best for you. Because as Rob said, you could have that feeling that you don't want to have any of your family or friends see your go lives, because it's scary to even go lives. It's one of the toughest things about doing go lives. But I can tell you the reward is huge when you let that not bother you. I've done go lives in the middle of the mall at Christmas with 10,000 people around me. And I did that specifically to get out of my comfort zone. If you go back last Christmas, I was literally in the mall, people walking around me. But, doing it from my fan page, nobody would have seen it. And I would have been there just gaining the out of my comfort zone all by myself. Maybe some people in the future would have seen it, maybe not. But I would say split test again. If it's working best for you at now to do from your personal page, then go from your personal page and then share to your fan page. But if you're looking for a business perspective on that, I would say that going from your business page and then sharing to your fan page is probably your best bet.
And Caleb or Justin just said that Caleb Maddox says to do it from your biz page and share it to your personal. You get more views for your page and good points. I tried it that way for months and I got much, much less. So I think it might be different for everyone. And it's hard to say that. I did try it the other way around first. But like Daniel says, split test it. So Richard dropped a question here, Daniel.
Real quick before.
Go ahead.
On that as well, if you're running ads, from that last Facebook update, I forgot exactly where I saw that from, but it said that if you go live from your fan page, it actually helps with your ad reach as well. So they said even doing one a week on your fan page. I rarely do them. Like they said, crickets on my fan page. When I first started my challenge, I was going to do it from my fan page, and I accidentally went on my personal page. So that was also why I was on like clinch mode on my first go live. I was like, oh crap. But it was the best thing that's ever happened. Sorry to cut you off there, Rob. I just wanted to squeeze that in there.
No, that's perfect. So this one's a great question for you guys. Can you do too many go lives?
I would actually say yes and no. It depends on how you look at it. Just like you can post too much, if you do 3 go lives in 2 hours, you're going to be competing with yourself on which go live gets put out there. So, like if you're going to do multiple ones in a day, morning, night, Baloo, relax. Come here. He's trying to get his bone into the thing. But anyways, I can kind of say yes to that because I feel like people will just get used to you too much and they'll be like, well, he's going to do 3 of these tomorrow or, something like that. So I would kind of say yes and no. There's good and bad, pros and cons about that.
So I would have to say 110% yes. The reason being, when I started my 90 and then I went to 180, I took on the responsibility of, number one, being able to come up with enough value to provide to everybody and not come off like I didn't have a clue what I was talking about. And then when I decided to do 360, the next challenge I had was, am I saturating myself to the point, like Austin said, if somebody misses today's, oh, well, he's going to go live tomorrow. We already know he's committed to 365. So we could wait 2 weeks and he's still going to be going live. So when I decided to do my 365, I mean, yes, I'm trying to provide value and it was pretty difficult to do so, that 365, but I also took on the responsibility that I was going to learn and grow from this experience. And what I took away from it was probably more valuable than anything I ever talked about, because without that 365-day go live challenge, I wouldn't be here right now and I wouldn't be able to hold a class. I wouldn't have been able to go through and make bullet points, actually come up with a good topic and have you guys stay engaged with us the entire time. So yes, you can do too many go lives, but take into consideration that it just takes one go live to change somebody's life. So even if you've done so many, you never have any viewers whatsoever, you can still be down to your 365th go live and one person changes their lives. And you never really realize how far your ripple goes. And I like what Rob told me the other day. It's more like a splash. You're standing at the edge of the water and you're punching that water as hard as you can, because if you're just relying on the ripple your whole life, the ripples do fade out as soon as they hit the beach, and then eventually there's no more ripples left. What you got to do is keep creating splashes. So stand in the water, jump in the water, stand in the middle, and just start smashing your arms down on the water so that you're creating as many splashes as possible. So yes, there can be too many go lives, but if you're trying to make an impact on the world, I mean, it's in the eye of the beholder. You make up that choice. And if you're growing from it every single day, that one person that you're trying to change lives could be you.
Totally.
One thing I do want to add to that real quick. With that, put a little, maybe not so much scarcity, but in your caption. Your caption is what's the first, it's baiting them. You got to bait them in with that and then hook them with a little hook at the beginning in regards to that. Make them, ooh, I'm going to miss out on some value if I don't watch this. So you got to have a catchy little caption on there. So I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
One tip I usually do when I'm done my go live, especially when I like to freestyle, whatever's in the heart comes out. When I'm done that go live, guys, go right back in and edit it and change what you want to say up top. Maybe you drop some really wicked point. For instance, perfect example, Daniel, we did a go live with our Ohana team this week and we got onto meditation. And I led them through how I meditate, where I find the free meditation. And then but we had no intentions of talking about meditations. So we finished that go live and I shared it out, but I edited it at first and called it Meditation 101. Make your text on top, make it stand out. Like if there's something, and the reason I did that is I get asked all the time, I don't know how to meditate, how to this, how to that. So take that time to go back and edit your caption above your go live. And it honestly, like Daniel said, 90% of your views are from replays. So if you put a really good caption on something and you know you drop some massive value, that can mean the difference of a few hundred views over the course of, or a few thousand views for that matter, over the course of like 6 months or a year. So
as a perfect example, my 365, everybody wants to see that because that's super compelling. Somebody just accomplished something, and like a pretty big feat in my opinion. I've got 1,002 views on just that one go live alone, and organic. Like,
yeah,
all it takes is that one compelling thing. If you guys want me to drop one more tip, drop a 1 in the comments and I will go over that exact tip.
I got two more questions whenever you're ready, Daniel, as well.
So that tip is a compelling description. You need a good headline that makes people want to watch. What it is, the value position that will bring people that don't yet know and love and trust you. Come up with things like the secret to, don't you ever, have you ever, how to. Those are perfect examples of a compelling description. You want to catch people's attention right off the hop. And yes, you could put up a go live real quick, and like Rob said, go back in, and what really compels you to get a good compelling description is to re-edit your go live. And that's the beauty. You might not be able to edit what you said and how you screwed up or anything, but you can go back and edit your post. So one thing I would suggest for every single person who does go lives, don't ever delete anything you've ever made. No matter if you don't think it's good or not, post it on YouTube in a hidden box so that nobody could ever see it. Put it on a memory card or whatever it be. Don't ever delete anything you do, because if you delete the first 10, the first 50, the first 100, you can never go back and look at that one first time. You can't look at the 25th time. You can't look at that second time. You have to have all of those so that you can go back and look at your own personal growth. Because I can tell you, I go back and look at my first one, and it's not even the same person. I go back and look at the picture that me and Rob took on the beach in Sylvan Lake that day when I first met him. Well, I'd met him once before, but that day we took that picture. I don't even feel like the same person I was then. So that's just a picture, let alone a go live. And then you can grow even more by going back and looking at your go lives.
Cool.
So we got 2 more questions.
Yeah, Richard.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I keep forgetting about Jacob's comment. It's in the regular chat. It's a really good question. So what I'm wondering right now is, what is the importance of building a following? I thought go lives were mainly for seasoning purposes. For me, my go lives are my give. It's such a simple, easy task to just give. You know, a simple thing is holding the door for someone, saying, you know, doing a nice favor, gesture throughout the day. That's how I look at my go lives, is a straight give. It's my give to everyone out there. It's such a simple, easy thing that we can do every single day. Yes, business-wise, it's good to build a following. You know, people buy off emotions, right? They want to, you know, they buy with people that they trust. With doing your go lives and building a following, you're gaining their trust, you're gaining their respect. And people are going to want to work with someone that they, you know, love, trust, respect. You can also do go lives more in regard to your business as well. I need to start doing more of that, but my go lives are at the same time mostly just a straight give. Just a straight give.
Awesome.
You want to touch on that, Daniel? I know you got value on that.
So the reason why you want to create a following is because how fun is it to be at the top and not have anybody there with you? So, I mean, I could get right to the top of the mountain or right to the beach or right to Thailand or whatever. If I don't have anybody that's enjoyed the ride with me, what's the point then? You know, I've got my beautiful wife and daughter that I can share that with, but I want to have as many awesome, amazing people that I can with me along that journey. And yes, they may only be followers on your Go Lives, but I can guarantee that they're going to start following you in everything you do, because social media is going to explode on this planet more than it already has. So creating a following is really important, because why do you want to get to the top and not have anybody with you? And it's as simple as that.
Richard Hill asks, so if I do, this one's for you, Austin. If I do a go live covering a song on my guitar, do I just say before the song that I don't own the rights to them? Do covers count?
Yeah, I actually don't know if a cover counts. I would
try it.
I would do it. And you could try it if you don't mind losing the Go Live, potentially doing it.
The reason I say that, I see people doing guitar go lives all the time, and you can go back and rewatch them, and a lot of them are covers. Like, I see it all the time.
I would say no. I wouldn't believe you would have to. I could actually maybe reach out to someone. Unfortunately, I'm not skilled enough right now to play the guitar. That's something that's on my bucket list to learn. But I know there's a few people that have done it actually, so I can reach out and ask them.
Michael
but for
Coble.
If you're actually playing it, I would say no.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
I would have to agree with that too, because when what we were talking about earlier about music is that Austin was actually singing to a song that he had playing in the background. So that right away, I know being in Disney World, anything that I recorded in Disney World was pretty much, I threw it out. Oh, I still have it, but I'm not able to use it because all of the music in Disneyland is copyrighted to Disney World. And it actually, before you even went live, it knew the sound in the background and it was telling me that you're not going to be able to post this, so just record it. So a cover would be somebody's own personal interpretation.
I'm assuming that basically Facebook has basically access to the same sort of algorithm or software as Shazam. That's the only way that, so it just automatically notices the beat or whatever and is like, That's that just goes to show you how frickin' smart artificial intelligence is getting nowadays. It's pretty scary. Anne-Marie, this is a great question. Anne-Marie's asking, is it a good idea to run a go live as an ad, or is it hard to get approved? That's why I was saying, and I know you're not a cusser, Anna, but as long as you are following Facebook guidelines and advertising policies, I have run a go live, about a 2.5-minute go live right in the very beginning when I started doing this, and I created 75 leads from it over the course of a month and a half. And it was really a vulnerable post. I was talking about people losing jobs locally here, and people just chewed it up. So I threw a couple $100 behind it because I was getting $3 or $4 leads. So absolutely. In fact, sometimes those make the absolute best ads. Lots of people do it. So I hope that answers your question. So guys, we are at about almost 20 minutes past. And if there is no other questions, I see we've lost a few people, actually half the people. So that's a good enough go live indication that maybe we've done our jobs, and I hope you guys got massive value. Once again, I want to thank Daniel Williamson for asking me to kind of host this, and I want to thank Austin for taking the time, and I truly love these two gentlemen. They're absolutely amazing. Do you guys have any final words for us? Daniel, you go first.
One big thing that I could teach every single one of you: always come from a place of giving, whether it be in your go lives, whether it be in your day-to-day life, whether you're at the grocery store standing in front of the teller. If you're coming from a place of giving, that is enough value, honestly, that will spread so thick across everything that when you're coming up with a topic, when you're sitting there scared out of your mind, coming from a place of giving, knowing that you're going to help somebody in some way, will definitely help you along your road. And I'm super, super grateful for every single one of you that has been here, that took the time out of your day to be taught by us gentlemen. It was just the natural progression from where I've come from to where I'm going. So again, very grateful for every one of you being here.
Mr. Austin.
Thank you, guys. Seriously, thank you. And with just one more thing, because it's so important, as we all know, gratitude. Just like you see us here now, we're sharing the love to you guys. Make sure that you just, I love to scroll up at the end of my Go Lives. Even if the people aren't on there, just say their name, give them a shout out. Especially if you see their name commenting 20 times, I give those people multiple shout outs because they're awesome. And when you do a Go Live, when there's nobody on there, and when you even have just one person, you are just like, thank you so much. Like, thank you. So with that being said, guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. This was awesome. And I hope you guys got tons of value from it.
Marta's asking, will this recording be shared? Yes, it will. I'm not sure where or how yet, but I know if you watch the Go Live Masterclass, I will convert this and send it to Mr. Williamson and these guys, and they can figure out where it's going to be. So with that being said, guys, huge, huge, huge love. It's Friday night. Have an amazing weekend. Go hug someone you love, and we will see you soon. Take care.